I want to start off by making something clear. I love the UFC, and I love the heavyweight division. The skillful displays of martial arts in the lower weight classes is all well and good, but sometimes I just want to watch a slugfest between two freaks of nature. The heavyweight division has given us some awesome battles, like the Cain Velasquez vs. Junior Dos Santos trilogy, the Stipe Miocic vs. DC trilogy, and any fight that Brock Lesnar won. Now, I just named 5 of the most beloved fighters in the history of the UFC, but I got a tough challenge for all of you current fans. Can you name the top 5 fighters in the heavyweight division? Let me make this even easier. Can you name 5 active heavyweights? Probably not, and I don't blame you, because the division is fucking boring right now. We are at an all-time low in terms of the skill and charisma on display amongst the big boys. Let's take a look at the current rankings so we can answer my previous 2 questions. The current champion is Jon Jones, and ranked number 1 is the guy he beat to take the belt, Ciryl Gane. Next up, we have former champion Stipe Miocic. Number 3, Sergey Pavlovich, and number 4, Curtis Blades, are actually facing off tonight as of this video's recording, so maybe this order will flip, but I don't think it will. Anyways, let's move on to number 5, Tom Aspinall. And I said we were only going to do the top 5, and Tom here is already our 6th man, but I'm also going to mention number 6, Tai Tuivasa, because I like him. After Tai, the skill level of the division takes a massive dive. Well, actually, the level of skill in the division takes a massive dive right at Tai. He uses more finesse when he's drinking beer out of a shoe than he does in his actual fights. Tai at least has something interesting to do once the fights are over with his shoey shtick. The rest of these 7, minus Jones, can't work a microphone to save their lives. I like Sergey, but the man doesn't even speak English. Would you honestly tune in to a press conference to hear Sergey and Aspinall say nothing of interest to each other? I know I wouldn't. Sorry for the rant, but I had to set the stage for the title of this video. The heavyweight division is so uninteresting that it had to be scripted. Well, kind of. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit, so pay attention and try to keep up, okay? Take the 7 guys we've been talking about this whole time. Does any matchup have the potential to be the main event of a pay-per-view? I can only think of one, and that's Jones versus Miocic. The heavyweight GOAT taking on the light heavyweight GOAT. It's a dream matchup and sure to sell a ton of pay-per-views. This fight was supposed to happen in July for International Fight Week. Jones and Miocic seemingly both agreed to the date via this exchange on Twitter. I don't think either of them would be lying about this. It's a huge fight and would make them both a ton of money. But now we're hearing that the fight isn't going to be until November so they can fight at Madison Square Garden. And Stipe and Jon are both pointing fingers at each other saying, I'm ready to fight today. He's the one that won't sign the dotted line. So what gives? Who's the liar? I don't think either of them are. I think that Dana White and the UFC are purposely not making the fight until November because there's basically no heavyweight matchups to look forward to after Jones versus Stipe. It's hype that sells fights, and if Jon wins, assuming that he doesn't retire after the fight, there's not really anyone that poses a threat to him. And I think the only way that Stipe fights again after Jones is if they do a rematch, but he's close to calling it a career as well. Once these two are retired, the entertainment value that the heavyweight division has is going to massively drop. It only makes sense that the UFC would want to get as much value as they can before the well dries up. Also, how does it make any sense that Jon Jones has been unreachable since the Gane fight, according to Dana White? If the company really wanted to get the Stipe fight made in July, communication would not be a barrier. Paulo Costa said at multiple points that he did not and would not accept a fight with Robert Whittaker, but the UFC still announced the fight as the co-main event for UFC 282 as a tactic to pressure Paulo into signing. Paulo said that he did not and would not sign for the fight multiple times even after it was announced, but it still took a while for the UFC to officially say that the fight was off. I find it incredibly hard to believe that the UFC would just say, Jones and Stipe don't want to fight in July? Well, shit, I guess there's nothing we can do. I think it's much more likely that the UFC is pushing this fight till November on purpose and not telling Jones that Stipe has already agreed to fight and vice versa. This way, they continue to build hype and add an extra layer of conflict to the matchup. Fans of the two camps are already going back and forth, arguing with the other camp that their fighter's a pussy who's dodging the matchup. It will also probably lead to a more interesting press conference. These guys probably were indifferent to each other during the lead up to the Gane fight, but based on a few Twitter messages, it seems some animosity is being generated between the two. Certainly not DC versus Jones levels of animosity, but I don't think many friendly words are going to be traded once they get on the mics. Okay, so I'm adding this bit in after the Pavlovich versus Blades fight. I still stand by everything that I said in the rest of this video. I wish we could have seen Blades try to take down Sergey, because as of now, I think Jones would take down Sergey and submit him just like he did to Cyril Gane. For some reason that I can't understand, Uncle Chael seems to believe that Curtis Blades is the chosen one to defeat Jones. In my opinion, Jones could probably out-grapple and submit Curtis, but I think he's much more likely to outstrike him for a KO in the early rounds. We haven't seen if heavyweight Jones has the same kind of firepower that Sergey and Derek Lewis have, but I'm pretty sure he has the precision to make up for it. In Sergey's last blitz to put away Blades, he didn't really connect cleanly with any shot that I saw, but the power just more than made up for it. So even with less power, if Jones lands a few clean shots, then it's definitely over for Blades. I just wanted to add this little bit in here to reiterate, I don't think anyone, even in the top 5 of the heavyweight division currently, really stands a chance against Jon Jones. Alright, back to the initial cut. Those are my many reasons for believing that the UFC's heavyweight division is so bad, the conflict between Jones and Miocic had to be scripted. Well, kind of. Do you agree with my analysis? Let me know in the comments down below. Take it easy and have a good one, folks.